In this video we're going to solve puzzle number 88, a diabolical puzzle from Sudoku to Go, volume 120 by Soap Opera Digest. In the last few videos there have been videos about finding patterns, and there are going to be other videos. In fact, there are about 8 more patterns that will be shown in other videos in the future. But today I'm going to tell you to forget patterns. Now, patterns can be helpful and you should look for them, but I'm going to show you a way to look at puzzles and look for raw cells rather than patterns themselves. And let me give you an example. When we start looking at this puzzle, we could start solving sections, like looking at this section for ones. 1, 1, so 1, 1. So in this section we got a 1 here, a 1 here, and a 1 there. Now in box 1 we know a 1 is constrained to one of these two boxes because of this one and this one. We could find another number here. We could possibly find another number here that would be twins with the 1. We've got a 3 here, but we don't have a 3 up here, so we really can't find twins here. But if we had a 3 here or here, we would know these would be 1, 3 twins. And that's because we have a 1 and a 3 here and a 1 and a 3 here. Now, looking for triplets, you'd have to find 3 numbers. Looking for quadruplets, you'd have to find 4 numbers. Now, one thing interesting about this, we do have 4 numbers here, and we have 4 cells in this box that are outside this row. And those 4 numbers are 1, 6, 7, and 8. And so we know those are quadruplets. Let's look at it a little closer here. We got the 1 that we found already. 1 goes in one of these 2 cells. A 6 can go in any of those 4 cells. A 7 can only fit in one of these 2 cells. And an 8 can only fit in one of these 2 cells. So we've got 1, 6, 7, 8 quadruplets here. 1, 6, 7, 8. Now we can't solve any of those, but that tells us what these 3 numbers are, right? 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 3, 4, and 5. Now we can't solve those either, but that gives us more information about this puzzle. And look at this row right here. We know every number except for these 2 now. Let's see what these 2 numbers are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 and 9. And we can solve those. So the way we found those numbers was, first we found the quadruplets by just looking at raw cells and seeing that there were 4 numbers here that weren't yet in this box. And then we found these triplets, and then we found these twins. So that's what I'm talking about when I'd say forget patterns. Don't look for patterns, but look for raw empty cells. If you find a number that can only fit in 2, 3, or 4 cells in a given box, you have the potential of finding twins, triplets, or quadruplets. Let's look at another example here. Right here we've got a 1, 3, and 4 in this row outside this box. And in this column we have a 1, 3, and 4 also. Now you may be going along and looking at like 3, for example. You're searching for 3s, and you see that one of these cells is a 3, and then you think, okay, if I can find 2 more numbers in this column and in this row, then I'll have triplets. And sure enough, that's what we've got here. 1, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4. So we have triplets here. 1, 3, 4. Now we can't solve those either, but now we know what these three numbers are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 1, 3, 4 triplets here, 2, 5, 6 triplets there. Okay, now if these we can't solve yet, but they may help us in the future as we're solving this puzzle. Okay, now this happens to be a 4 right there, because we got a 4 here, a 4 here, and a 4 here. Okay, and so you can't solve those, can't solve those, can't solve those. If we looked through this puzzle, we probably wouldn't find any more numbers, because it's a pretty difficult puzzle. So let's see if we can look at let's look at this column right here. We've only got 3 numbers in it. What's missing? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's see what we're missing in each cell. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are we missing here? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're only missing 5 and 6 there. Let's look at this one right here. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 5, and 6. Okay, and then 1, 5, 6, 7. Or I'm sorry, there's a 1 there. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are missing here. And then here 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 5, 7. So let's look at that again. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 5, 7. But notice here we've got a 1 here and a 1 here, so we have ghost ones here. So this is a 5, 6, and we thought this was a 1, 5, 6, but there are ghost ones here, so that is a 5, 6 also. So we have 5, 6 twins there. Okay, let's look at this column one more time now that we know that we have 5, 6 twins here. Now we're only missing 4 numbers, 3, 4, or say 1, 3, 4, 7. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4, 7. So we have a 1 and 7 there, so that's a 3, 4. That's a 1, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 7. So that's a 7 right there. And so now we're missing 1, 3, and 4. So 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4. There's a 3 and a 4 there, so that's a 1. Okay, now we're missing 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. Can we solve any of those? I don't think so. No. But now that we found those, and remember we've got a 1, 3, 4 here, 1, 3, 4, and the 1 can only be there or there, so now we've got a 1 there. We can solve that 1 right now. And we have 3, 4 twins right here. 2, 5, 6, and 3, 4. So we'll remember that. That may help us here in the future. Now I think we can, now we got a 7 and 7 there, so there's a 7. Okay. And remember we had 7s here, so that's a 7 right there. 7, 7, 7. 7, 7, 7. So 1, 2, 7, 7, 7. Okay, now we've got all our 7s. Now, if you remember, we had quadruplets here, we had triplets here, we can't solve those. We have 3, 4 twins now, and 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6. But let's look at these quadruplets. Now that we've filled in one number, we can probably solve those. Yeah, in fact, that's a 1. Okay, and then we got 8, 8, 8 there, and a 6 there. Now let's look at, let's see, what are we missing here? We've got 2, 2, so one of these is a 2. And if we could probably find a twin of that right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a 1 there and a 1 there. So we have 1, 2 twins there, and we can solve them. Okay, now we've only got 2 numbers left. 3, 5. 3 and 5, we can solve those. Alright, now remember we have 3, 4 twins there, 5, 6 twins, and we've got a 3 there, so we can solve those. And we had 3, 4 twins here, so we can solve that also. Alright, now we've only got 2 numbers here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. 3 and 5 are missing there. We can solve them. And let's see what else we can do. Let's look at this column right here. We've got quite a bit filled in here. 3, 4, 8. 3, 4, and 8 are missing. So that's a 3, 4, 3, 8, and there's 3, 4. So that's an 8 right there. Okay, so we know that's a 3 and that's a 4. Okay, that was one of our 3, 4, 5 triplets here. So now we know that's a 3 and that's a 5. Alright, now let's see. Now, if we look at this column right here, we have a 9, and we know one of these is going to be a 9 because it can't be here, and it can only be in one of these 2 cells. So if we find another number here that isn't in this box yet, we'd have twins. And now this happens to be an offset pattern here, these 2 numbers and these 2 numbers. But like I said, we're going to ignore patterns and we're just going to look at cells. So that 9 can fit in either one of these 2 cells, regardless of the pattern in here. And we've got 1, 7, and 4 left, or in this column here. There's a 7 and 4 in here already, but no 1, so we know these are 1, 9 twins right there. And we can solve them. Okay, now we know these are 5, 6, 5 and 6. Doesn't look like we can solve those yet. But what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 and 3 are there. we can solve those. Okay, now remember our 2, 5, 6 is here. There's a 2 there and a 2 there. So we can put a 2 in. There's a 5 there, so that's a 6, that's a 5, and that's a 6. Okay. See, we only have 2 numbers left here. And let's see, oh, we only have 2 numbers here. Let's see if we can find those. 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay, so we know those. Now we've only got 1 number left in this column here. And now we've got 3 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9. So 5 has to go there. There's an 8 and a 9. That's a 9. That's an 8. Okay, let's look at this box right here. What are we missing? 1, 2, 5, 2, 5, and 9. There's a 2 and a 9 there. Okay, and let's see. So we're missing 2 and 9 there. And now we can solve the 5 6s that we found because we have a 5 there. And the 2 9s I just mentioned, I don't think we can't solve those yet. Okay, now we have 4 numbers here, 2 in each column. 5, 8. So 5, 8 missing here. 5, 8. And what are we missing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 9. So we can solve them. You only have 1 number left there. Okay, now we can solve the 2 9s in that box there. And now we've only got 2 numbers here. 2, 6, 2, 6 there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 left there. Okay. So as you remember, we found these quadruplets over here in box 1, which gave us these triplets, which gave us these twins here, and we were able to solve those twins. And then we found triplets here, the 1, 3, 4 triplets in this box, in box 6, because of the 1, 3, and 4 in row 6 here. And that gave us the 2, 5, 6 triplets also. We couldn't solve any of those. We couldn't solve the quadruplets here or the triplets here. And then we were able to start finding numbers when we had the 2 and the 9 here. We were able to find the 7 and 1 down here when we were looking at this column, and then at that point we started, we kind of broke the puzzle open there. So I hope that helps you understand what I mean by not looking for patterns, but looking at raw cells. Quite often as you're looking for numbers, you'll find boxes with only 2, 3, or 4 cells that a given number can fit in. And when you find that, you can search for twins, triplets, or quadruplets. Or you can even look for 5 numbers or 6. I mean, you can keep going if you want, but it gets more complicated. So now remember, there will be other videos in the future in the near future on other patterns. We've got a T pattern, a diagonal pattern, an offset pattern, a plus pattern, an X pattern, a double wall pattern, and an opposite pattern. And then I'm going to talk about hidden patterns also. So we got plenty of videos to do on patterns, and go to the website sudokuprimer.com and you can see more information about patterns in a new section there. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll be coming back with another video on or other videos on all these patterns in the near future.